morning, y'all. Liz and I are hitting the road early today now. I think it's just shy of like 8 o'clock. I think it's probably like 7:50, 7:55 or something like that. So we're just leaving the Lockport area. Right now we're on this bypass that brings us back to the trail. Because last night we stayed in a Hampton Inn and Suites. It was very comfortable. So today, Liz and I are going to be heading from Lockport to Brockport / Rochester area. We're still trying to figure out like where we want to stay. Today should be roughly between 60 and 70 miles, which is going to be wild because yesterday we tried to do 60 miles and we did not do 60 miles yesterday. So we'll see how today goes. All right, I'll check in later. I think we're gonna try and do like a 10-mile and then break, another 10 miles and break system, and then go from there. All right, see you guys later. We made it to Lock 34, Lock 35. The sound that you hear behind me is the water coming down the lock at the moment. So one cool thing about the Erie Canal is that there's so much history around here. Behind me is the Lock Tenders Tribute Monument. So if you Google that, you can definitely check that out. We made it to Middleport. It's a little bit of a bridge right there. So like right behind us, there's a whole bunch of like these electrical sites for boats that are going up and down the Erie Canal, which is kind of cool. I think we're gonna try and head for Brockport and probably stop in Medina next and see what's happening over there. All right, peace. So we're just leaving Medina. We got some lunch at the Tap by Mark's Pizzeria. Really good place for lunch if you're gonna stop at Medina. All right, so now we're on our way to Brockport, so this should be fun. Well, riding along the Erie Canal, there's this really cool thing called the Medina culvert, where I think in like the early 1800s there was construction done, and pretty much there's a tunnel that's right here. So if I zoom in a little bit here, you could see there's a road down there. When I zoom out, you see the Erie Canal. And so the Erie Canal is able to continue, and boats can go through and everything, and then cars can also continue on the road as well. With engineering and everything, this was a feat that was figured out, and back then this was really a cool thing to check out. This is pretty cool. And then cars come out right there. Got about, I believe, 7 miles till we get to Brockport. It's been a hot day. Pretty much, Liz and I have been playing a little bit of leapfrog. Every time that there was a bridge for a road going over the canal, I'd stop in the shade because it's so hot, and we'd stop for between like 5 to 8 minutes, kind of get out of the sun for a little bit, which has been really nice. So far on this ride, it's been pretty flat. Construction going on there on the bridge, so we had to actually dismount and then walk our bikes across instead of biking across. But yeah, other than that, we're gonna keep on trucking along, and we'll see you guys in Brockport. Morning, guys. So Liz and I stayed in Brockport last night, and so a little bit of an update. We're taking a day off, and we're changing some things with our schedule. You know, sometimes you just gotta, make sure that you have a flexible schedule, and you're able to go with the flow for a lot of things. So this is like a really cool experience. I've stayed at a lot of different Hilton branded hotels and whatnot, but this is the first time that I'm doing laundry in one. So really cool experience. Basically, the washing machine dispenses its own dispenses laundry detergent in there, and you basically pay with your phone instead of paying by coin. The last time I used a system like this was when I was in college during undergrad. So really cool experience going on right now. So yeah, so pretty much we got to Brockport last night. We stayed for the night, and then we figured we'll stay for another night, take a day off. Today's supposed to be in the 90s today, so we're like, you know what, let's not try and overdo it and just stay in the hotel for an extra night, and go from there. And then tomorrow, so like I said, we're changing up our route, so we're gonna head for Palmyra tomorrow, and then I'll give you guys an update tomorrow how that goes and everything. So for today, day 3, well, technically day off, there's not going to be a new video. All right, cool.